Before this video starts, I would like to mention that this video will contain mentions of child pornography, pedophilia, um, blackmail, a lot of really fucked up things. Um, so there will be a lot of really messed up things in this video. So I'm just giving that a warning. Kind of I know some people have a really hard time with that. So this will be a very serious video, serious discussion. So let's begin. So, if you don't know who Servax is, Servax is a very good Geometry Dash player. He was, I think, like top 30 on the stats viewer. He, was title wave victor. He was incredibly good at this game. But recently, about a few days ago, 2 days ago now, W Popoff, who is the number 2 player, verified Society, which is a upcoming top one, is awesome level, love it. And Zoink, who is the current number 1 player, was giving some practice about it. He was going to do some practice. So Zoink was pre-practicing it. Now, I'm not defending Servax, but first, overall, so basically, Zoink pre-practiced Society. Like being, instead of handling this problem like a real adult, a reasonable adult, being like, I feel like that was a little, you know, unfair, and that's annoying, but whatever. Um, Decided to post child pornography of Zoink and W Popoff. Now, here's the thing: Zoink is 18, so of course, posting pornography of anybody is incredibly wrong and incredibly illegal. But the biggest issue is Popoff. See, W Popoff is 16. He's either 14 or 15, or 15 or 16 years old. Um, so that's child pornography. Cervex, by this, is a child predator. He is a sexual predator. He is a pedophile. And I don't want to hear, some people would like to say like, oh, it's AI, it's not real, but still it doesn't matter. They posted it regardless. They saw this and they were like, an AI, video of a minor making out with somebody is regardless illegal. That is illegal. So Cervix posted it. Now, of course, the stuff has been deleted. And this right here was Seven. Now, Seven is a controversial figure. There are a lot of stuff that's going on here. But basically, what happened was Cervix had a ton of stuff going on. So here's like all of the stuff. He was going around and saying that like his phone was stolen, or he got drunk because he turned 18, or then he said Seven ended up stealing his phone, and Seven was the one that posted this. Seven, despite being a very, and I mean very controversial person, said people are taking a terrible advantage to cover my name. I'm not going to make excuses for their lies, but to avoid as much detail, I was playing Minecraft with A6 and Warden. This doesn't seem that big of a deal until we realize. All right, we're back. So this, okay, maybe he's getting some ground here, until you realize Vorton says, yeah, we were playing. So, this Vorton saying this, A6 has not said anything at the moment, but most likely I'm going to believe A6. Meaning that this story is actually fake. Or his alibi is true. Seven is, was playing Minecraft, so it would literally be impossible for him to do that. So yeah. And eventually this has, I believe, been debunked now. I believe that Servax is officially like, casted out. So eventually he posted his apology, which we'll get to in a second. This is the first image I found, and this is the only one I'm going to look. I'm not going to even try to look for any more because I don't want to see that. Then people see this post, right? And they see, okay, whatever. And they see Hail Zoink, which, Hail Hitler, haha, this guy's a Nazi, yeah, fuck you, kill yourself. Anyway, he sees this, and people are like, oh, it's probably something stupid. And they hit show, and yeah, so then that's the whole, what goes on. So then here we see him, somebody's like, yo, why are you doing this? And he's kind of like, whatever. Okay, yeah, I get it. And then he's like, maybe I should delete it. And then somebody says, dude, delete it. And then he says, and then Slaughter says, dude, you're already banned on Point of Great. So let me go over here, and then this is when somebody messaged Vorton saying, "Is this true?" And then Vorton says, "Yes, that is true. We were playing." And then he posts his apology. Now, if you read this, do not feel bad for him. This is a very very big manipulation. This is a lot of things that manipulations will do. They will always be like, "Oh, I always fucked up. My friends, everything. I was wrong. I was wrong. You know, and when I feel better, I feel horrible. They will, they'll try to gain pity, and he does not earn a single bit of penny, a penny, a bit of penny. Um, as now, as this guy has says, this story is obviously still developing. More information will be added to the thread. Um, so I may have to do a follow up video, which I really don't want to because I don't want to talk about this more, but I may have to, unfortunately. But I do want to kind of get this out here because pedophilia obviously is a huge problem in GD, and it's kind of a huge problem in real life, which is just horrible. Being an adult doing that type of stuff to kids is just absolutely disgusting. I'm an adult, and I knew a person at my workplace who he was a manager, and he was a pedophile, and he sexually assaulted a worker, a coworker, and it was very disturbing for her, one, and then for two, the entire staff, because they were like, holy shit, this guy, like, we were so close with. So that's a little judicial story, I guess. Um but yeah, so that's the whole thing. All of this because Zoink was just pre-practicing. All of this just because he was pre-practicing. So eventually, we're still waiting for another response from Servax. Again, I don't think anybody's really gonna give a shit at this point. People have already, canceled this guy. Hello, hello. So this is post videos, me editing. So just want to say, have a good night, guys. See y'all later. Keynote's progress is coming along. Hopefully that is out soon, but if it's not, then whatever. Again, hopefully I won't have to discuss this further, but if I have to, I have to. Big deal. But anyway, have a good night, guys. I'll see y'all later. See ya.